So in my previous video, I gave an explanation on the Mishnah Berurah. What does it mean that we don't differentiate? That we don't. What's the mean of Haman and Baruch Mordechai? The Mishnah Berurah explains that Haman is referring to the fact that Haman was cursed, and because he was a cursed man, so by the end he had a downfall, which led to him being hung. And the Baruch Mordechai is that Mordechai was a blessed man, so therefore by the end he was raised to greatness in the king's palace, head of the treasury, able to influence the king in order to do what's good for the sake of Am Yisrael. So the Mishnah Berurah says that we have a mitzvah to speak about these two great things that Hashem did for us, that he cursed Haman, but then he was killed, and he blessed Mordechai, and he was raised to greatness. So we speak about this, and by the end we don't differentiate between the two of them. So that's not clear in the Mishnah Berurah. What does it mean that you can't differentiate between the two of them? What did I differentiate? What am I not differentiating now? So my last video, I pretty much said Baruch Mordechai is not really a miracle. That it doesn't stick out. It's something that could happen. He's closest family member of the queen. He saved the king's life. He used to be a general in the army or something in the army. And now he was put to be head of the treasury. It makes sense. But Haman, that was a shock. He was second to king, and he was really up there. And the fact that he was hung. So we speak about the two of them, and we come to the conclusion that Hashem is running the picture. And the same way Haman was hung, so too Mordechai could have been in a situation where he wouldn't be in there in the treasury in the first place, where it wouldn't last very long, or it's all in the hand of Hashem, and we recognize that the blessing that we have is also from Hashem, and not to be taken for granted. And with that, we could appreciate the fact that we're healthy, that people that are sick in the hospital. We could appreciate the money that we have. I thought about it today. I look at the 2,000 shekels I have, for instance, and I at first I felt bad about it. Only 2,000 shekels. How am I supposed to live off of that? You go to college, get 2,000 shekels. You also have your wife working, whatever. How am I supposed to live off of that? But when you look at what's underneath you, what's beneath you, the person who's only making 1,000 shekels, you're like, wow, that 2,000 shekels that caused you suffering because you were thinking, how could I live off of that? But when you look at what's underneath you, what other people make, those who go to Kola make 1,200 shekels. 1,200 shekels. I make 2,000. Wow, that's wonderful. So that was the last explanation. I thought of another explanation that I think it actually makes more sense in the Mishnah Berurah. It matches what he says more, because he says at first you speak about both of them, and then you don't differentiate between the two. I think what that might mean is that you make it one story. At first, Haman's cursed man, by the end he was hung. And Mordechai is a blessed man, by the end he was raised to greatness. But I don't connect the two. I don't have I just look at it, Haman could be a cursed man and he can hung and get hanged or whatever it is, but that doesn't guarantee that Mordechai is raised to greatness. Or vice versa. Mordechai could be raised to greatness, but doesn't guarantee that Haman's gonna fall. There's no connection between the two. So at the beginning of the meal, that's how we start off. We don't think about it too much, which is why we're supposed to think about it. We're supposed to talk about it a lot, right? Like the Mishnah Berurah says, I'm supposed to speak about these two things a lot. So at first, we were first starting to speak about it, and we come to the conclusion that there are two great things that Hashem did for us. One is that he hung Haman, and the second one is that Mordechai was raised to greatness. And we speak about it more and more, and we come to the conclusion: Haman falls, Mordechai rises. When the hands are the hands of Esau, then the voice is not the voice of Yaakov. But when the voice is the voice of Yaakov, then the hands are not going to be the hands of Esau. There's no in between. There's no such thing. Haman rises, and Mordechai also rises, or Mordechai falls and Haman also falls. No such thing. They work together. It's one story. Haman falls, Mordechai rises. I don't look at them to be two separate things anymore. I see them as one thing. How did Hashem save us? He knocked down Haman. He knocked down Haman that raised up Mordechai. They go together. And it's very important for us to also know in life. We have hardships. We want things to be better. Get rid of the bad and the good will come. The way to do that is by shining light. Like we know, a little bit of light where it gets rid of a lot of darkness. So shining light gets rid of the darkness. Once that darkness is gone, then you will rise. Because when the darkness goes down, the light goes up. So with this, we should expel, erase, get rid of all darkness and all bad, and we should all rise up and elevate to the coming of Mashiach.